Okay, so who am I? I said, I started to work in software development in 2001. That's when I first got paid to write code. It was awful code, but I got paid for it, and it was used for 10 years. And every year I was going back, looking at my code, and saying, oh, such a bad code, such a bad code. But unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately, it was used for 10 years, that code that I wrote there. So I cannot say I've seen them all, but it kind of feels like that. I kind of recognize myself in the previous talks, but in a strange way, like in Venkat talk. I used Java 1.0. I was in 11th grade back then from a CD-ROM, and I find it awful because what's the first program that you write with a new language? You read some input, right? Try to do that with Java 1.0. It's complicated. So I thought it's an awful language. Yeah, and in the next talks, I think every single talk mentioned that, oh, we write code because we bring value, some value to someone. The thing is, I kind of don't care. I mostly write code because I like to write code, but don't tell my employer. It's not. The thing is, if you write good code, you will bring value. So, but when I sit down and write my code, I don't think about the value. Maybe it's bad, maybe it's not, but that's who I am. So, and in the previous talk, they mentioned that you do not write the HTTP server. I want to write the HTTP server, but they don't pay me for that. So, yeah. So what the idea about this talk came up to me several years ago, because I don't know if you felt the same way, but as a senior, after a while, you get into a project. And it's kind of a dysfunctional project. At least that's what I thought. It's a dysfunctional project. And they say to you, you're a senior. Find something to do so we ship this thing. And, oh, you think, oh, where do I end it up? What kind of project is this? You have no idea what you're doing here. So I should just figure it out. The thing is, it happened again on the next project, and the next one, and the next one. And then I thought, well, maybe it's not their fault. Maybe it's my fault. I'm expecting too much of them. But the truth is, this is how every project is. There is no, I'm pretty sure there is no project where everything is smooth. The processes are lightweight and everything gets done. That doesn't exist. So after all these years working in software, I believe that most of the projects, they get done because there are a few people that actually push things forward. They figure out their role in the project and they push things forward. And everyone follows. That's how it actually works. And while working on a project, you will pretty much end up in one of these roles. Some of them are the usual ones, like developer, of course, testers, I don't know, architect. But there are some strange roles that no one talks about, like, I don't know, decider. I'm pretty much decider a lot. I'll get back to this. Or fixer. For example, my current project, I'm the one who fixes things. Well, people get stuck, and I try to fix things, but not by writing code, just by pointing, you should go there, or you should go the other way. Oh, PO. You've heard about the PO. Yeah, we'll get there. It's a weird one. And the one is, there are teams where everything is done by someone. There are actually projects where if that person takes holiday, the project takes holiday. If that person dies, the project dies. Well, it never died in my projects, but that's, I think it's called the bus factor thing. So if you are hit by a bus and your project dies, you are doing it wrong. That's the one. And again, in my current project, we have one D1. Sometimes there are multiple ones, but one. So we'll be talking about that. But not from the perspective what's good for your employer or your customer, but what's good for you. So you find your role in the team, and you will be happy. Because, again, if that's true, then probably your employer will benefit from you. But I don't care about that. So I care about finding my role and be happy while I do this 8 hours every day. So how come we have all these roles? Because when I graduated in 2001, my first team had one person in it, me. So I was given a project, and I had to do everything. I actually had to talk with the customer and so on and so forth, which was interesting. But nowadays, it's not like that. So a lot of roles come from necessity, like developers and testers. You have to develop and you have to test. Some roles come from agile. We'll talk about that. And some roles come up because we have no idea what you're doing here. And this is the stance where most of the projects are. But I'm not talking, well, I'm talking about everyone, actually. The developers, they know how to write the code. That's good. We know. It's easy. You Google it, you Stack Overflow it, you write the code. But whoever runs the entire thing probably should have seen Vlad's presentation, which was very nice. But it's not like that. It should be, it's not. So yeah. Anyway, why do we care? I already gave you a hint. It's we need to be happy. So we need to be happy with the thing we are doing inside the team. And as I said there, nothing comes for free. We have good people, they have good intentions, we put them together, and the job gets done. It doesn't. It's because not everyone understands good intentions in the same way. As I said, I care about my code, not too much about the value. Probably I will wreck the project if it's only me to decide everything. So probably I need some other role besides me telling me what to do, and so on and so forth. So having a team of good developers doesn't guarantee success at all. It just doesn't. And having some kind of process, because roles come together with a process, also helps. It's very important to actually have some process. And now, coming back to your happiness as a developer, your role in a team or teams, because most probably you won't work for too many years in the same project, your role will grow with your career. And you end up with someone telling you, find something to do, fix this thing, find your role. You are the senior here. And of course, if the project failed, you are the first one that is asked why it failed. You have so much experience. Still, we got it wrong, right? So kind of this talk is oriented to senior developers in a way, because the more experience you have, the greater the expectations, of course. And you get more freedom, and you have to know what to do with that one. There is no talk. Well, actually, I think I had some talks where I didn't mention Agile at all, but this is not one of them. Because a lot of roles that you will be put into come because you do some kind of Agile, whatever that means. I have no idea what. Something which is called Agile. And you end up in a team, and you know what they say about this. So it's the team governs itself. So you have developers and testers, and they work on something. There is no lead. They understand what they need to do. The tasks are already there in Jira. There is Agile without Jira. There is not. It's together. They come as a package. And you have you just deliver. It's not like that, because you end up needing some other roles that no one tells you about in the beginning. And of course, if you ask the Agile gurus, they will say, oh, no, Agile is blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. So you have business analysts in your project. You have architects. I do this role a lot. You have those PEOs. And what happens a lot is that these roles at the bottom, they are pushed kind of outside the team. No one recognizes this. Everyone says, oh, no, it's everyone together, blah, blah. It's not. And what happens is, these guys here, actually these two, this one doesn't do anything. Really. So these guys here work a lot to prepare the work for the other guys ahead of time. Probably you saw it in your project. We'll get back to the PO, don't worry. So these guys work a lot to prepare things for the others. And that's completely wrong. Why? These two guys get annoyed because they are kind of implementing the solution in their heads. That's what they are doing, in a way. Especially the architects. Of course, it's me. And they try to figure out every single detail about what needs to be done. And they write the story. And it gets rejected, of course, at refinement. It's not so detailed enough. So after the whole ChatGPT craziness started, in one meeting, I got actually pissed off. I don't usually get pissed off, but I got. And because I worked on several stories. The team rejected all of them. They are not detailed enough. So my response was that if I put more details into it, ChatGPT will implement it for me. I don't need you anymore. Well, the thing is, they were not bad developers. They were pushed into that position. Okay, I have to tell you how they were pushed there, if I mention it. They are measured by story points, right? Whatever the heck that means. Some numbers. By the way, there is a special algebra for those numbers. Anyway, so they are measured by that. So their incentive is we should get stories. We should have no unknowns in the story. If we have unknowns, we will fail the story points game, right? Because we will not deliver. We have to think. That's bad. So they want stories where you get the story and you start typing, like ChatGPT does, you know? And you get the story points and you get those nice emails, you know. Sometimes you get emails from people that you never met before from your organization. And in the signature, it says vice president of something or president of something. Those congratulation emails. Congratulations on your sprint. Yeah, so you are incentivized to do story points. Anyway, by the way, I'm telling you about all this stuff. So in the end, you will choose what you want to be. That's the whole idea of the talk. Do you want to be there or there? Now, let's talk about the two guys here that I don't like. So one is the master, that one, and the other one is the PO. So why I don't like them? Actually, not the role I don't like. Let's not get personal. Yeah. So let's start with the Scrum Master. It's easy. You know, you have it there because there is no lead here. So this idea of a self-governed team with no lead is total bullshit. There is no such thing. So there are hidden roles, informal leader. Kind of Agile got this, and they call it Scrum Master. But then someone got the bright idea of, should we waste a developer doing this thing? No. Let's hire someone who keeps records. Maybe someone which is very nice, which is a plus. You cannot get mad at someone which is very nice with you every day. That's the Scrum Master. And usually, I'm sorry, if you are a Scrum Master, I'm sorry for what I'm saying right now. But this is how I feel about this role. So, what I was going to say? Oh, so yeah, they have no idea about what it means to ship software, how the stuff is made. Except, actually, there is a good way of being a Scrum Master, which is you are one of the developers, and your role as Scrum Master is maybe 10 minutes a week spending Scrum Mastering, some Jira stuff usually. If that's true, if that's true, then that role is fine. But usually it's not like that. So, yeah, the PO. So the idea of the PO is product owner. So I'm working from 2001, which is like what? A lot of years. I never actually worked with a PO, a product owner. Everyone that got this title in my teams was just some random business analyst. So they just grab some, you are the PO, sit here. And usually what that means is when the shit hits the fan and they need to make decisions fast and good decisions, they cannot. They have to go to someone. Well, that's the actual PO. But the problem with that guy is that he's just some random business guy. Maybe he actually knows the product, but has no understanding whatsoever about the technology. So that's why it has some proxy. Sometimes it's actually called proxy, PO. I mean, everyone knows you are not the PO. Well, I actually worked with some POs, but in a very strange context. So at Endava, for some time, I was working on some internal projects, and those projects have POs. But those POs, they knew their product very well, but they did not ever work with the development teams whatsoever, because they were busy actually doing some other stuff. Anyway, so the PO that you get, it's very rarely the actual PO. I never got one. It was just one of the business analysts. Don't get me wrong, those guys I have all the sympathy in the world for them. They try their best. The fact is they cannot make decisions, and that's a problem. So if you are given the title of PO, say no, run. Just say no. It will make you happier. Scrum Master, maybe if you are a tester or developer, maybe. If not, don't, because everyone will hate you, no one will tell you. It's like that. So, some roles that are hidden in an agile context. We talked about the informal leader. There is no team without a lead. And you will see, nowadays, pretty much this is settled in a way, because all the teams that I work with, when we were introduced to each other, they say, oh, this is the team lead. Oh, good. This is if not, then someone will just grab that title without being formally presented as a team lead. It doesn't matter if it's a tester, a business analyst, or a whatever. Someone will be the team lead, no matter what. You have that backlog curator. Usually that's done by one of the PMs. The amount of work it's like a development environment, Jira. So the amount of work put into that one, it's huge. If one of you does that, you know how much work is there. So someone needs to work with that product. It's a very complicated product. I have no idea how to use it. I usually just get URLs for the defects. But other than that, no. You have the fixer, I'm the fixer. The fixer usually, what that means is it comes with the package with the decider. What that means is someone with experience who saw them all gets involved when the team gets stuck, because the team will get stuck. Almost never because of technology. Usually the team is good. They can handle technology. Very rarely it's about technology, unfortunately, because I would love to be the fixer when the problem is a technology problem, but usually it's not. Usually it's, we have no idea who to talk with. Usually it's that. So, or we have no idea how to do this. Something non-technology related, like, I don't know, how to deploy this or whatever. So that's the fixer. And that's someone with experience who did that before and just, oh, okay, I know. Or someone with enough guts to just ask a vice president about what the hell is going on. Because they don't want to, the team doesn't talk with that. And usually the fixer is also like a buffer between the team and the rest. And the decider, it's that person in team, in meetings, which when some problem appears, they just decide, okay, we do it like this. Or we do it like that. I do this a lot. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but usually, because most of the projects I'm working on, I get into them in the middle of it. Like, they started 5 years ago. I come today, I'm an architect, and because I'm an architect, I should know pretty much everything. And usually, first or second day in the project, I'm in a meeting where someone asks me, Adrian, how to do this? The worst thing you can do is I say, well, let's rephrase this, in an emergency meeting, because there are always emergencies, right? The worst thing you can do is, oh, I don't know, I'll look into it. That's bad. So you have to take a decision. And you, of course, you don't flip a coin. You try at your best to take the right decision, not knowing what you are talking about. That's a very, very important role. But no one talks about it. And I kind of like it, because I can brag about it afterwards. I told you so. When things don't go well, because probably 50% of the time my decision is like a flip coin, I don't talk about it. Yeah. So we have these hidden roles. And don't be a backlog curator. No, just don't. The other ones are kind of okay. The decider, it's tricky, because if you're constantly wrong, that would be a problem. But the fixer is fine, in a way. Informal lead, of course. Actually, if you are in informal lead, just go and ask for a badge with the lead on it. Some roles that I believe should be challenged. That's a controversial one, but anyway, here you go. Devs versus testers. Pretty much in all teams where those roles were I don't know, very in your face, they didn't do very well. I think they should not exist at all, at least not how we think about them. I believe tests, if you are a test engineer, you should be something like an architect in a way. You don't need too many of those. Your role would be to actually help create a coherent testing strategy for your team. Who writes the test cases? Who automates the test cases? The team does. Everyone does. The worst thing you can do is have devs write no tests, and tests write all the tests. Testers write all the tests, which is strange when I say it, but that's the worst thing you can have in a team. So everyone should be a tester. Everyone should be a developer. And you can be a tester, but your role is not to automate anything, not to write test cases. Your role is to work with the others to have a coherent testing strategy. If that's good, if you do this, it will be much better. But this is kind of hard to implement. I tried it several times. You need buy-in from everyone to do this. Otherwise, it won't work. But if you have the buy-in, you will see everything will be just get better. So if you are a dev, try to be a tester. If you are a tester, try to be a dev. Especially for testers. Usually dev salaries are bigger, which is a plus. And if you are dev and you do extra work like testing, you can ask for a raise, and which is good. Because, by the way, just a small thing. The thing with the payment that we get is very important. We don't talk about it because most of the time you are reminded by someone that you should care about value, you should care about customers, you should. And in my head it's something like, I show up here every day because I get paid at the end of the month. It's the most important thing. So we should talk about it. It is actually the most important thing. They should rephrase this idea of, oh, money, they are not a good motivator. They are. But you should rephrase this into, we are successful, we make money, you will make money. This is the idea, not just be grateful that you are working on a project with the latest technologies. I'm not showing up here for the latest technologies, right? So the financial component of your role, it's also important. And we should not be ashamed of saying that. I'm not. But it's kind of a taboo subject, especially in interviews. Oh, why do you want to work here? Because you have better salaries than mine. You should be able to say it. Now, some roles that almost no one talks about. Do I have more time? Yeah, 7 minutes. The mentor. Well, actually, this kind of, the HR departments, they are all over this. They all talk about it, but not the other ones. So it's just, oh, if you hire, if you accept our offer, we'll have mentoring, but that kind of falls short after a while. But it's a very, very important role. And I'm saying this because I was privileged to have mentors my entire career. But not because they were assigned to me. It's just because I do not care if I go to someone, interrupt their work, and ask my question. I have no shame. So but I was lucky to find people that were okay with that all the time. So most of the things I know are not from the university. When I graduated in 2001, after 5 years of university, I knew a lot of math, which was good. I liked it. I have no idea how to write software. So everything I learned from someone that was patient enough to respond to all my stupid questions. And believe me, I had a lot of stupid questions. So that's a very important role. And some companies, they do actually have this role. You are a mentor, or it's called something else, I don't know, coach, whatever it's called. I encourage you to accept this role and actually try to do it well. And all you need to do it well, what does it mean to do it well? Don't get pissed off. Just accept whatever your mentee tells you. Try to help them, because they will come to you with lots of those stupid questions. Don't get that. And you will be a good mentor. It doesn't matter that you teach them the wrong thing. It doesn't matter. You at least try. So that's their problem. So as a mentor, because if you really try, probably you don't know it all. a lot of time you are wrong, but you are very convinced you are right. So you will teach them wrong. That doesn't matter. Just be patient with them. So this is, after a while, you get older, and you start to appreciate other things in life, like project management. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I thought these guys have no idea what they are doing. They actually don't do anything, so they have no idea about what they are doing, and they are doing nothing. That was my idea about a project manager. So, but as time passed, I realized that the good ones are actually very good. I started to appreciate, especially I worked on product companies and consultant companies or service companies, and I started to appreciate the project manager from the services companies like Endava. I feel sorry for them in a way. They do a lot of work. And this role is definitely in that list of those who push things forward. And while I was writing this slide last week, I promise you, I didn't write these slides last night. It was last week. So while I was writing this slide, I actually thought maybe I will do this for a while. I don't know how it will. Probably I will piss everyone off, but we'll see. So if you are offered this role, it's a very challenging role, and it's nice. Even if you are a developer, it's worth. By the way, I did it in the past, so I know it's worth the time to do it. But not a month. You'll learn nothing in a month. Do it for a year, maybe. It will teach you some lessons, at least. So, if you are unsure what you want to be, first of all, at least once every few years, try to change your roles. It will help you. If you are a developer, just be a tester. I'm not kidding, or vice versa, or be whatever. It will help you. But, of course, try to be good at it. Otherwise, your colleagues won't succeed. And in the end, you'll figure out what is best for you. Again, I will reiterate what drives me into picking my roles. I told you at the beginning, I write code for the sake of that code. And I believe that if I do it right, someone will get value of it. But I don't care about that. It's just, I care about my code. And it's good. It's good for them. And I will get paid. And because 2 years ago, actually a year ago or 2 years ago, I had another talk about motivation, and I spent a lot of time creating that talk. And I realized that besides writing code for the sake of that code, which I think it's like I'm a technologist in a way, I actually do care about something else, and it's not the value again. I like when the others, I help the others be happy. I don't know, make more money. My team, I like to help my team get their job done. I don't care if their job, if whatever they produce, it's useful, but I like helping them be happy and succeed in that. And again, the company, my employer, will benefit from that, again. If you are doing all these things with good intentions, it will be fine. I guess that's it. Time's up. The screen is red now.